Okay, people, so we took a look at Home Delivery. This is the new film from Thom Harp, who wrote and directed. Okay, it is produced by Philippe Palacios, Lundy Shackleton, and Rosanna Thomas. It is executive produced by Pilar de Posadas. It is associate produced by Saray Gudetti. And line production from Devon Isaacson. Simon Bass took care of music, with David Volrath on cinematography. Casting was Lisa Zagora. Danielle Osborne is production design, with Christina Rubin art direction. Set decoration is Marianne Liu. Costume design was handled by Megan Leon. We have Ramona Colazo, Melissa Eastwick, Brenda Lopez, Celeste Maxwell, Angela Neef, and Shannon Marie Trigger on hair, makeup, all of that jazz. Okay, our cast. Right, we have got where is everyone? Oh my days. Okay. Ellye Ferguson is played by Melanie Field. We have got God damn it. This is like just atrocious the way this has all been laid out. You know what I mean? Like, boy. Alright, let's try and get this in a better place, because it's going to be a nightmare. Okay, yeah, so her sister, Amy, is played by Lindsay Sloane. Amy's husband, Kevin, is played by Jimmy Simpson. We've got their parents, their mother, Linda, played by Lesley Ann Warren. Then there is Linda's husband. Oh, I just missed someone. Right. Yeah, that would have made sense. Anyway, there's Linda's husband, Gary, played by Joe Pantoliano. Right. And her first husband, Howard, played by Peter MacNicol. Obviously, I forgot Ellie's husband, right, who is played by Donald Faison, and that is Jimmy. We've got Ellie's midwife, Sarah, played by Tracy Toms, and her other midwife, Shanae, played by Rainn Wilson. Who else do we have? There's Alma Sereno, played by Sheila Carrasco. Dr. Farage, played by Zahara Fazal. Dr. Tamblyn, played by Phil Abrahams. Gloria, played by London Garcia. Vonda, played by Janie Haddad Tompkins. We have got, who else do we have? Calippo, played by Caitlin Norton. Jimmy's limo driver, played by Lawrence Stepney. A young version of Linda is played by Cassie Ferrick. The nurse at reception, played by Keisha Zola. I think that is all our main characters. Okay. So, what is this film about? A model who met her husband less than a year ago invites her childless sister and estranged family to join them for the birth of their child at their home. It's going to get messy. So yes, that is the gist of things, people. Yeah, this is like, it's an interesting one, right? Because it's sold as a comedy. And I can see, like, it's not, let's just say, my type of comedy, right? But I can see people, vibing with it, getting down with the laughs and all of that jazz, right? It's I think the interesting thing is it shows that, like, sensitivity goes a long way, right? You know what I mean? You've got Ellye, wanting everyone to be about her birth. But you have to understand there's people that maybe can't have kids or don't want kids, or, there's so many things that you might not be, whim to. So there's certain, like, comments, there's certain things that can be said that are just a bit, like, tone deaf. Like, think about it, right? Just because you're happy about this thing doesn't mean everyone wants that thing. You know what I mean? And I think that was like, something about this film, because there's just so many situations going down, right? So many situations going down that, not everyone is, let's say, aware to. I didn't laugh, but I did think there was a really there was this moment between the sisters it was probably 3/4 of the way into the film, I'd say, right? And I thought that was handled very well. I thought the way they delivered that moment was probably the best moment of the film, I probably would say, right? Now, there's other things like the naming and, that are meant to be, but you just be like, I don't even, like, yeah. But that for me was, the best thing. Like, there's all the stuff about the modeling doesn't really factor into it, really, to be honest with you. I guess it's just a facet they wanted to do with the film, but nothing. It's not every character is as layered, but I think there are characters, like, they do flesh out Kevin and Amy a bit more as the film goes on. Even Sarah gets a little bit of something, you know what I mean? There's the parent situation, which is there. We don't really get behind the curtain on it, don't really do that. Like, I think Jimmy, there could have been a bit more with Jimmy, could be a bit more about that. And just on their timeline, right? Because, they didn't know each other. I think, supposedly, as it says, they don't haven't been together for more than a year, which kind of means they got pregnant basically straight away, I figure. But we don't really touch upon any of that and just any of that, how any of that works, right? But it is one of them films, I think, last year there was that film Babes. Was it last year or was it early this year? I don't know. It was that, but there was that film Babes, right? This, if you enjoyed Babes and you laughed and you frolicked and all of that jazz, right? I think if that was your jam, then yeah, I think you will enjoy Home Delivery. It's very much speaks to that. It's that kind of thing. Like even Nommers, right? That film, that Netflix film from a few weeks back. If you enjoyed that, I think you will enjoy Home Delivery. There's not crazy depth, right? It's talking about essentially home delivery, right? Baby's birth and all of that. Now, I think it could have really looked at that whole thing, and the fact that it's talked about like that this is the essence of, and you know what I mean, but address those kind of stereotypes that get thrown around with that shit, like I think that could have been interesting. Like there's some weird things, like I feel she was shaving herself in the toilet, right? I think so, she was. And it's like, why? Right? Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, that could have been explained because everyone, So there's bits that I think are thrown there for comedy, but like for it to work, you then have to kind of explore it a bit more. And we don't do that. You know what I mean? We don't really do that. So that's a bit weird. But I will say, casting wise, I think that was done very well. I think the casting works perfectly because you buy the you buy the relationships. You know what I mean? You buy the Jimmy and Ellye are a thing. You buy Amy and Kevin. You buy Linda and Howard. Linda Howard and Linda Gary. You buy all of those dynamics, and the actors play those roles very well. Sarah, and Shanae as the midwives. You buy them, so I think the casting is very good. The script and the story are the things that kind of let it down in places. But yeah, as I said, if you enjoyed Babes, Nommers, right, those type of films, then this will be for you. This will work as a film and as a comedy. Okay, so it's a weird one, right? Because I think it dropped in cinemas in the States in February 2024, but it's only just come out in the UK, right, via Sky and Now TV. So yeah, I think, right, like the release information, there's not a whole lot of information regarding the film, which does make these things very friggin' difficult. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's odd. Like, our whole team works extremely hard to, make this happen. So it is a bit odd when, it's just not listed very well, right? It's just not listed. Like, give people their dues, you know what I mean? Hey, but anyway, we took a look at it so you know if you want to or not, right? Home delivery.